Welcome to the very first edition of Your Town. I'm Jacqueline Dioria, and this is my co-host Sean Leary. This month we are featuring West Deptford Township.
Mayor David Shields will tell us the latest developments concerning the Town Center project.
And Sean, everybody is buzzing about this project right now.
These are some exciting times for West Deptford residents.
And do you know why?
Yeah, you tell me.
It could mean an indoor aquatic center, a twin ice skating rink, and even a public golf course at a minimal cost to taxpayers.
Did you say golf?
I said golf.
Because I got my clubs in the truck and I'm ready to swing.
Well, I think you better hold off before you get onto the course right now. Stay tuned. We have a lot more work to do. We'll be right back with Your Town.
You're watching Your Town on Channel 5. There's zombies walking around.
This one's mine.
A sister station, really. Any thoughts that you have about maybe you didn't have?
137 weeks. On the road to victory.
Ten years ago, the executive producer of Comcast Channel 5, Stan Ritter, came to me and asked if I wanted to come from behind the camera and jump in front of it for a show called Your Town. And his vision for the show really was to educate Gloucester County on what was going on inside the county and within each town, thus the name Your Town.
Your Town, which was formerly known as County Connection, came to a point of evolution where I needed another host, maybe co-hosts, and Sean really fit into the mold. I wanted someone who had a good rapport with people, who liked to do different things, and basically to have fun.
The show did evolve through the years. I mean, we took some different approaches and kind of had some fun with it. But what we really wanted to do was give Gloucester County a chance to see what was outside of the county walls. And some of the shows got a little crazy, some of the trips got a little crazy. But one thing remained constant, is we always had fun.
When the show first started, that's when I was learning how to do camera. As the years passed by, I was the main cameraman, edited the show, produced the show, became a part of it. We've done so many fun things. We've met so many great people, and we've been so many cool different places. It's been just a fantastic experience.
Welcome back to Your Town. I'm Jacqueline Dioria.
And I'm Sean Leary.
This month we're featuring Deptford Township, the third largest town in Gloucester County, Sean.
Third largest. That must mean it has some great history behind it.
A lot of history, and I'll give you all the details later in the show.
Well, that'll be nice. Guess what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm coming right here to Chuckville Solar Park to take place in Deptford Day.
Okay.
I'm going to try to win some prizes, play little games, mingle with the people.
Try to win some prizes.
Wait, you don't think I can win prizes?
I don't know.
Hey, this is an athletic body right here. I can do it. Shoot a little hoop.
Anyway, we'll also tell you about how the town is making out in its quest to get a postage stamp commemorating the first hot air balloon flight in America.
I thought that went over to Woodbury.
Well, Mayor William Bean is going to clarify that later in the show, and we'll get his answers later. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
I remember producing a show, or wanting to produce a show, a Halloween show back in 2004, and I like to do things have a little fun, so I asked Sean to dress up. I said, you got to come dressed up, and he didn't have a costume. He didn't know what I do. I said, just come dressed up. I don't care what you do. We're going to go to this thing. We're going to have a good time, but you have to be dressed up. And he shows up with this funny costume. It was a riot.
Welcome to Yo Town. I'm your host, King Fizzle My Nizzle. I'm filling in for my man, Sean. He's out on another assignment. We're here at Great Adventure, Six Flizags with my man, the monsters, the ghouls, and all the fools around me. So come follow me around, we're on Yo Town. Let's do this thing. Man, you guys is ugly looking fools. I couldn't make no money with you.
The Halloween show was probably one of the shows I look back on, and it wasn't even me. I don't even know who that guy was. But what happened was, in this business, in this job, you're afraid you're gonna say something too corny, you're not gonna say the right things, you're always worried about how you're gonna be perceived by the viewers. And before I put my costume on, I was really apprehensive about doing the whole thing. I was afraid I would embarrass myself, I'd look like a fool. But when I put the costume on, really became the role of my character.
Just rocking out all night long, so it's just great. There's really such a wide variety of stuff to do. So if you're here for the thrill rides or you're here for just some great entertainment.
Now you got anything for a pimp like myself to rock out to a little bit?
Oh, you bet. I think that Dead Man's Party's got your name written all over it.
Why don't you two girls come and follow me this way?
I knew when Sean pulled up in that big, Barney purple-looking pimp of a costume, I knew it was going to be a real interesting night.
I'm with one of the girls, looks like from the grave, man. This girl's all busted up, looks like she got some blood on her, some spiders. What's your name, sweetheart? Your name, baby? You know, like the thing you scribble down when someone asks you to sign something? Oh! Settle down, I ain't gonna hurt somebody. All right? Like, you look like you're a bride or something like that. Like, who you marrying, baby? Because if you ain't marrying someone, you know, me and you, we could be a couple, if you know what I mean, baby. I think I like you too. Now, see, remember all the other girls that wouldn't shut up? This one's good, she ain't gonna say nothing. You can do whatever you want, she ain't gonna say a thing. Come on, baby, I think you might be mine. Yeah, baby, this is like being at the club. I don't even want my girls around me. What's up, baby? Come on. Dance? One dance? Yeah! Get some of that fire working, baby. Get some of that fire working. Yeah! All right, sure. Oh, yeah? What's up, bro?
Guys, come here.
Southside Soul, bro.
Come here.
Me and my boy, we make a good combo. Wait, hold on. Yo, see my man, we make a good combo. Like, he ain't got no face and I got a pretty face. You know what I mean? We went out, we get all the honeys. Your no face and my pretty face. What do you think, y'all? Whoa, whoa. Down low. That's not gonna make the cut, big dog. When you come to the Cape May Zoo, first thing you remember, you have to bring the kids.
By far, my most memorable experiences doing Your Town was at the Cape May Zoo. And it's a couple of stories that I don't think I'll ever forget. When you mix animals with humans who don't know what they're doing, sometimes things can go really crazy. And if you got the camera rolling, or if you don't have the camera rolling, it can get pretty crazy.
So after we get done shooting the tigers, we go over to the lion's cage. There's a male lion, a female lion, maybe another female lion. Get close to the cage, get ready, fix my camera, get ready to shoot. Kneel down, push my record button. As soon as I did that, the male lion jumped at me, was on me in a split second.
It was basically in 2 leaps, 1 second, and that lion was on that cage trying to bite through it to get to him. And to see that lion with his teeth coming out of the cage, wanting a piece of my brother like a slab of meat, was just an incredible sight. We had to back away slowly because they were afraid that the lion was actually going to lose one of its teeth from biting into the fence with that much ferociousness. It was absolutely the craziest thing I've ever seen.
When he lunged at me, my human reaction was basically just to fall back. As soon as I fell back, I punched the camera button, the record button, boom, off. We didn't know this until afterwards when we looked at the footage. We see the lions, see me focusing in on the lions. All of a sudden, boom, next thing. We realized that when I had fell back when the lion was coming after me, I had accidentally pushed the record button, fell back when that lion was on top of the cage in a split second, didn't record anything.
My next interview, got one of the residents here at the zoo. There you go. And how long you been living around these parts? Want another one, huh? Won't speak? Won't talk? One for me. One for you. Two for me. One for you. These are delicious. No wonder you stick around this place. You really can't do this at the Cape May Zoo, but since I got the special pass to feed the animals today, I'm going to feed this guy. This is a camel, and they like carrots, just like Bugs Bunny or somebody, so I'm going to see if he'll take a carrot from me. Here you go. Here you go. There you go. Oh, you missed it. You missed it, dude. There's that, huh?
And here we have the ostrich. The ostrich is the world's largest and most swift-footed bird. They can reach heights up to 8 foot. They inhabit grasslands in the company of grazing herds. They feed on plants and small animals. They are closely related to South American rheas and Australian emus. Many scientists believe that the wide distribution of these flightless birds is evidence that Africa, South America, and Australia were once part of a supercontinent called Gondwana.
Looks tasty. I wasn't the only one getting hungry, and this time I could have been the main course.
This guy here you probably don't want to mess with too much. He's probably got a little bit of bite, but most of these animals are pretty tame unless you provoke them, correct?
Yeah, she was hand-raised, bottle-fed, so she's a pretty good cat, but that's just to the keepers. If the public would happen to jump the fence or anything like that, they'd probably end up losing a finger, for at least.
This Bengal tiger actually has a name. Her name's Carrie. How did she come up with Carrie?
I really don't know. It was just somebody that I had met years ago and kind of liked the name, so kind of stuck.
A Siberian tiger attacked one of the zookeepers, I believe, in Florida. You have to feel kind of cautious at all times, or basically, are you very comfortable going inside the pen?
I think it's a matter of respect and just knowing your job, knowing where the animal is and what you're doing at all times. If you have a bad day that you might not be thinking of things, then you go back and check probably 3 or 5 times that day just to make sure that you're doing things correct and protocol.
Vince, you seem to have all your fingers.
Still there.
So I guess Vince hasn't provoked Carrie at all because he's still got all 10 digits.
Sean and Darren have told you the story about the lion, but there was more craziness at that zoo. Sean had agreed to participate in handling a very large snake.
This is one of my favorite animals. This is the anaconda. It's kind of like the movie, right? There was the movie Anaconda where this guy's will grow up to about how big?
This is a male. He'll only get about 14 foot long.
Only 14, but right now he's like about 12.
Yeah, he's about 12 foot long.
This thing wouldn't just come out and strike a human because it wants to take a bite.
No, not unless it was threatened. Although I did see a picture once of one constricting a rubber trapper. And I don't know why it did that, and nobody knows, but they did find the man dead and half down the snake's throat. So it couldn't swallow the man completely, it couldn't get past his shoulders, but it did have his head and neck inside its body.
This anaconda, it smells like it had an accident a little bit. Is that just my imagination?
Snakes do that. It's called musking, and they have certain glands that they can release a very obnoxious smell.
Yeah, I think
and
it
that's
released.
to deter its predators. Yes, it did.
And where did it come out of this tail? So it's like all over me now?
Right, exactly.
Oh, so I'm basically going to smell like snake poop for the rest of the day.
Could be. Yeah.
After it was real funny, the snake went to the bathroom on us. She tells us, the handler, that we need to go hurry up and wash our hands because the snake urine may possibly sting my skin. So I don't know if she was joking around or not, but she then tells us a story while we're washing our hands that the snake was very interesting because when they opened the bag from where the snake came from, I'm not sure if it was Colombia or Guatemala, there was blood inside the bag.
So they wanted to find out, well, what was happening? And so they called the zoo that the snake came from, and they said, oh, yeah, well, the snake had previously taken a chunk out of somebody's hand or arm or something, and the blood was inside from somebody. And all of a sudden, Sean's like, you're telling me this now?
Now, she's telling me the story after I was just holding this snake. And I was thinking, what is this lady, crazy? She just took this snake out of this tank and allowed me to hold it when she told me she only handled that snake a couple of times.
First he gets snake pee on him, and then he gets this whole story about a snake bite.
One of the episodes I kind of regret not taking as much of a part in, but then after hearing about the experience, I'm kind of glad I kept my feet on the ground. My brother had the opportunity, however, to hop into a helicopter in Williamstown and see Gloucester County from a totally different angle. I've had a couple bad experiences on planes, so I wasn't really ready to jump into a helicopter again. So I just let my brother go up there. Sounds like he had fun, but...
Needless to say, this is my first time in a helicopter. And to get a better shot, the pilot took the door off. This wasn't just a door. It was a humongous gaping hole in the side of the chopper. Now, I am trying to carry and hold a 25-pound camera on my shoulder, trying to get the good shot, hanging out the door, jamming my foot in the side with a tiny little seatbelt strap hung across my chest, holding me in, okay? It was very, very nerve-wracking, yet exciting at the same time. I did get some great shots, but I was looking forward to finally getting on the ground.
I guess going up in a helicopter is pretty exhilarating. What's that feeling like? If you could describe the feeling of going up, is there any ride or anything you've ever been on that, for somebody who's never been up, to compare it to something?
The answer is there's nothing like riding in a helicopter. I've been on roller coasters, I've been on airplanes, and been on many other types of vehicles and transport things. Nothing like it. The reason is because helicopters, you can hover. Helicopters, you can stand still in midair, and pretty much nothing else does that except a helicopter. They also fly backwards too, which is undone in most aircraft.
Prices. What can it run you to go on a little ride so much?
Okay, helicopter riding is usually not inexpensive. Our rates are around $3.70 per hour. And usually people, again, they'll hire us for either take a trip to New York City, Atlantic City, around the local areas. We don't go too much further than that. So within an hour, they usually get to do what they like to do in that time.
Obviously, when people think helicopters, some people are going to be like, wow, I'd love to go into one. And some people are going to be like, I'll never get into one. If you can try to encourage the people who don't really want to get into one, what is it about flying in a helicopter? What is that experience like?
I'll tell you, I'm glad you brought that question up because a lot of people I take, which I had mentioned as sightseeing people, some people have never been in a helicopter before, some people have never been in an aircraft before. And I take pride in the fact that we're very nervous, and they tell me they're very nervous. They don't want to go, but they force themselves to go because they want to try it. And what I do is I fly around the entire airport with them, and they get very comfortable, and eventually we're up at 1,000 feet, and they're fine. They should expect the most exciting ride they've ever had. But of course, very calm, very safe, and very smooth. And they'll get a bird's eye view of, get a different perspective of what they usually see. So people who are nervous is usually because they don't know what to expect. There's nothing like riding in a helicopter. I've been on roller coasters, I've been on airplanes, and been on many other types of vehicles and transport things. Nothing like it.
After seeing Gloucester County in a different perspective, I can agree with Ben. It's kind of neat to be up in the sky and look down on our great county. We chose this site for our 10-year anniversary because it was the most emotional, poignant moment of your town in 10 years, without a doubt. Usually we did a lot of fun things, but this was a time that we really needed to become very serious and show Gloucester County the events after the 9/11 attacks in New York. We lost a few people from Gloucester County, and Mantua Township dedicated this site to those who had fallen that day. We have the twisted I-beam behind us, which symbolizes the tragic events of that day. And I can tell you one thing, it was the hardest thing that both Darren and I had to deal with, being cameraman and a producer for that and a host. Very difficult to get through. It was a very emotional day.
September 11th, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 civilian aircraft, crashing into the World Trade Center in New York City, a third into the Pentagon outside of Washington, D.C., and a fourth into the countryside of Pennsylvania. Whereas thousands of innocent people, including Americans of every heritage and visitors to our shores, were killed and injured as a result of these wicked and reprehensible attacks, including the passengers and crews of the aircraft, workers in the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, bystanders, tourists, and rescue workers. Whereas these attacks were the deadliest ever launched against the United States, and by targeting symbols of American strength and success, were clearly intended to intimidate our nation and weaken its resolve. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township of Mantua that we extend our deepest condolences to the victims of these heinous and ungodly actions, as well as to their families and friends. And be it further resolved that we commend the heroic actions of the passengers and crews of the aircraft, the rescue workers, the volunteers, the officials, and so many of the victims themselves who responded to these tragic events with courage, compassion, determination. And be it further resolved that we do condemn and denounce the terrorists who planned and executed this devastation, as well as their cowardly sponsors and accomplices. And be it further resolved that we thank those leaders and individuals who have expressed solidarity with the United States in the aftermath of these attacks. And be it further resolved that we support our President, his Cabinet, our armed forces, our federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, and Congress in their efforts to bring justice to the perpetrators of these attacks. And be it further resolved that we stand ready, Governor McGreevey and his administration, to share whatever resources we have that might be needed for the ongoing efforts, as well as with any agencies charged the investigation of this murder and the apprehension of the responsible parties. And be it further resolved that Mantua Township does hereby designate September 11th, 2002 as Always Remember Day, in commemoration of the innocent victims and the heroes of the terrorist attack on the United States, which took place on September 11, 2001. And be it further resolved that all persons within this municipality are urged to honor these victims by appropriate displays of our flag and of the red, white, and blue ribbons. This resolution duly adopted by the Township Committee on a regular meeting held August 27, 2002.
People need the Lord.
One of the greatest experiences of my life was getting a chance to convince our executive producer, Stan, for us to take a camera to Jacksonville to show behind the scenes footage of the Eagles. I was already going down for the Gloucester County Times as a sports editor and cover the behind the scenes and a local angle. But Stan also combined that with us putting a show together.
When I decided to allow Sean and Darren to go down to Jacksonville to produce a show for your town, get the local angle. We talked about all kinds of, how can we do this? What would be a good way to piece the show together, and you get this and get that and things like this. I thought, okay, let's let them do this, because we'll come back with a really good show. And they come back and start putting stuff together, and it was completely different from what we planned. So I was not very happy about that one. However, what can I expect? They're Eagles fans going down to Jacksonville. Did I expect the show that we had planned?
With everything involved, it was funny, it was fun, it was exciting. We just had an incredible 5 days, and we've got a couple snippets to show you.
From Jacksonville, you're watching your town. Go!
Fly, eagle, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3.
It's them low, it's them high. Watch the eagle fly high. So fly, eagle, fly on the way to victory. Woo! Number 1, eagle.
E-A-G-E-L, eagle.
At the Eagles Nest, you never knew who was going to be interviewed, including me, by Michael Barkan and the Sportsnet team.
And we're making sure that all the Gloucester County residents, they know what's going on and they want to be part of it. We're here to supply that. We're also here for the Gloucester County Times, a small paper in Gloucester County.
Very nice. Gloucester County Times and Comcast Cable, which is very nice. So kind of like a sister station, really. Any thoughts that you have about being, when did you get down?
We got down Wednesday morning. We took a rental car down, an SUV, and it took us about 12 and a half hours, which wasn't bad. We were moving about 75, 85 miles an hour. And
how many in there? How many in the?
There was three guys. We had a cameraman and a PA, and we're just down trying to soak it all up, trying to look at the different things that are happening, maybe behind the scenes stuff that's going on with the fans.
So you're behind the scenes now?
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Yes, you have a camera, Mike, you can right maybe. See the cameraman, what's your cameraman's name?
That's Darren Leary. He's sporting the Phillies jersey, trying to fit in here, and he's actually my brother, and he's helping us out with putting a little local feed. All right, Al. Real simple. Cheesesteaks or New England clam chowder?
Stop it. Cheesesteaks. Philly cheese.
Philly cheese, why?
I don't eat clam chowder. I don't eat it. New England clam chowder's for weenies. I'll take a Philly cheesesteak any day.
Even though you're a Cowboys fan?
Absolutely.
But you still like the cheesesteaks?
Absolutely. Clam chowder's for weenies.
You are?
Amanda.
From?
Jacksonville.
Philly cheesesteaks or New England clam chowder? What's better?
I gotta say New England clam chowder.
Whoa! There's not too many of those. Why is that?
I just like it. I think it's really good.
Is it the cream? Is it the potato? Is it the bacon?
It's all of it together.
Or is it the clam?
Might be the clam.
Now, have you ever had a real Philly cheesesteak?
No, not from Philadelphia.
Well, I don't blame you, because I love clams my damn self.
Awesome.
Clam chowder is good, but a Philly cheesesteaks, being from Philly, I've had them my whole life, so I go Philly cheesesteaks.
With or without?
With. New England clam. Are you crazy? It's not even a comparison.
Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteak.
Why is that?
Because I don't like clam chowder.
I like green.
What's your name?
My name's Jay Carney.
Jay, where you from?
Right outside of Philly, Delaware County, baby.
All right, here it is. Eagle Philly cheesesteaks or New England clam chowder? What's better?
You know you got to go with the cheesesteaks, man.
Is it even a comparison?
Not even a comparison.
What do you think about the clam chowder?
I like clam chowder. It's yummy, but I got to go with the cheesesteaks, you know what I mean?
Spoken like a true Philadelphian.
Yum, yum.
Philly cheesesteak.
Why is that?
Steak. Like steak and cheese together.
It's a perfect combination.
Combination.
Almost like the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I'll go with chowder just to, you know, hometown atmosphere, but I'm pretty fond of cheesesteaks. I'm not going to lie.
It's not even the same game. It's like saying Pam Anderson or Leona Helmsley.
What's your name?
My name's Cecil Jackson, man.
Cecil Jackson from?
From Duval County. Duval to the fullest, man.
To the Phillies?
To the fullest. Duval County to the fullest.
All right. We're going to ask you a simple question. Philly cheesesteaks or New England clam chowder, what's your pick?
Hey, man, you know I like them cheesesteaks. Everybody like that meat, baby. You know what I'm talking about? That's what time it is.
I'm with?
I'm Melinda.
Kelly.
And you are from?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
And I'm going to ask you a real simple question. Philly cheesesteaks or New England clam chowder?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Philly cheesesteak.
And why is that?
Because I like to be filled.
I like cheesy things.
Oh, you girls are just awesome, aren't you?
Yeah.
I got to give Philly that. I got to take the steak and cheese. Yeah. Chowder's good, but steak and cheese will fill you up.
All right, we are with
Allie.
Allie from?
From Cincinnati.
So you're a neutral fan. So this question, you'll probably give us a pretty honest answer. Philly cheesesteaks or New England clam chowder, what's better?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Why is that?
They're just better. I don't like clams, so it's better.
You got to be New England clam chowder. I love the cheesesteak, but it's got to be New England clam chowder.
Why is that?
That's a good question.
Typical Pats fan, don't know what the hell's going on.
That's true.
Eagles, Philly cheesesteak, or New England Patriots clam chowder, what's better?
Easy.
Eagles Philly cheesesteak, baby! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Stop! Cut it out. It's easy. Next.